North Carolina linebackers coach, co-defensive coordinator Tommy Thigpen, breaking down the newest Titans inside linebacker in Cedric Gray. Coach Thigpen, what's going on? How are you?
Guys, good morning. How you guys doing?
What's up,
good
Coach?
morning.
Man, we are great, and we are excited about your linebacker who was drafted by the Tennessee Titans last weekend. What are the Titans getting in a guy and in a player in Cedric Gray?
Oh man, you're getting a guy that's just loves. I mean, just totally loves football, guys. I mean, he's obsessed with it. You talking about a guy that's going to come in early, leave late, going to ask all the right questions, not scared to lead. I mean, he does. He takes a lot of pride in never making the same mistake twice, and I don't ever remember him ever making the same mistake twice his whole duration with us. He's just a guy that pays attention to details. I mean, he practices like it's game day. Everything he does he tries to perfect in his movements, his eye discipline, his hand placements. He's just that guy that every day he comes into the office, he's just coming in and getting better. And if it's 1% every day, that's his whole goal.
Coach Tommy Thigpen, UNC linebackers coach, with us breaking down Titans linebacker Cedric Gray. Coach, where did you see Cedric make the biggest improvement over his 3 years with you?
Probably eye discipline, and he stayed another year with us, and we wanted him to be more of an effective blitzer. He wanted to get more sacks, he wanted more interceptions. He could have came out his junior season, but he wanted one more year to perfect his craft. And so his tackling in space is really, really good. You can't say enough about the things he sees on the football field. I mean, the fact that he can line up and tell you, okay, coach, 3 technique got reached, the 5 technique, didn't hold the edge. He can tell you things that that sometimes as a coach you don't see it, and he just continually, when you're on a football field, he just continually talks it. So if you say improvement, I mean, it's every day he goes out, he's gonna work on something, and if he'll make you as a coach. Just come up with drills to anything that he may suffer or may, that's not maybe as good for him. He's looking every day to see what he can do to get better.
Coach Thigpen with us this morning discussing Cedric Gray. Coach, congratulations on getting a draft pick. I know that's a huge accomplishment from you seeing your work and your players' work play off also. So I just want to say that to you first and foremost. With that being said, in today's game, it's a couple positions in the NFL is somewhat minimized. And that's running back, that's off the ball linebacker. Coaching, from your perspective, just how important are those guys, the inside linebackers, to today's game in general still?
Oh, man, it's in today's game, back when I played, it was 2 backs in the backfield. It was just old school ISO counter. Everything was inside the tackles. And if you notice now, just kind of notice how many wide receivers are being taken. It's quite a bit. And the reason is the game is played more in space. With the Mahomes of the world and the Allens from the Buffalo Bills, they put you out there with these guys that the matchups. So if it's a 3-by-1 formation, the Mike got to walk out. And that guy he's literally isolated with the Mike linebacker. Or if it's a 2-by-2 formation, it's the Will linebacker. Now he's isolated. So they're trying to get these guys in space, and can they catch a 5-yard hitch or a 5-yard out and turn it to a 10 or 15 yards? And so, inside the box is easy. Inside zone and just the simple run game is very simplistic. But it's the passing game. Everybody in that league got a dynamic quarterback, and now everybody got dynamic tight ends. Big tight ends that can run like wide receivers, and wide receivers that got serious matchups against backers. So that's what you're seeing in today's game a lot now is just, can these linebackers play in space? Gone are the days of the big old, the Pepper Johnsons of the world, or the big linebacker that was 6'3", 255 pounds. Those guys are gone. We're looking in the league now. It's all about speed, your eye discipline. Can you slide back in the box and make the tackle? Can you make this tackle one-on-one with this wide receiver or this athletic tight end?
Throughout the draft process, too, leading up to it, they consult with everybody. I usually say that NFL teams are like the CIA or the FBI. They want as much information they possibly can. What were some of the questions that was asked to you about Cedric Gray and his pre-draft process?
A lot of questions they wanted to ask was, can he make the calls? That was the main question I kept getting. I was like, can he have a green dot? I'm like, oh man, this guy would love to have the green dot. He would take pride in it because that's the quarterback on the defense. That's the guy that lines everybody up, and he's a general. And so that was the question I got a lot was, can he do this? And because, as for us, so much Mike was out the box and the wheel was always remaining in the box. So he's, when he was the guy in the box, he was making the calls. When the mic was in the box and the mic was calling it. So that was the main question I got. There was nobody ever asked me how physical he is, how tough he is. I never got that question because, all you got to do is watch the tape. He makes plays after play after play. And, I bet you, I can tell you he probably missed on a whole year, the last 3 years, he probably missed less than probably 15 tackles in 3 years. And, he don't make no errors. And so when you watch him on tape, there's no mental errors. There's not many missed tackles. And so you got a complete linebacker that's never hurt. He's played in games, guys, where he's played 101 snaps in a game. Never, ever gets tired. Just in superior shape. So the question is, can he make those calls? Because in the league, it's a lot more two backs than it is in college football where it's all one back. But that was the main thing that people kept asking me.
Coach Tommy Thigpen, he is the linebackers coach at UNC. We're talking a little bit about Cedric Gray. And yeah, that's the conversation here, Coach. Really, in all reality, it looks like they would like him to wear that green dot. And I think a part of the NFL game that maybe goes a little underlooked is there is still room for development here. And I think what a lot of people love about this match is Frank Bush is now in that room as the position coach. I know you know a little bit about him, Coach. How much will this be a benefit for Cedric to have him as a position coach?
Ayla, Frank is the best in the business. I'll visit him when he was down at the Falcons. Just his command presence in the room is right up Cedric's alley. The way Frank talks is right what Ced needs. Ced was ROTC. Back in high school, and that's the guy. So if there was anybody that I wanted him to play for, man, I was like, when I heard he's going to be playing for Frank, I was like, you got to be kidding, because Frank is the guy. To me, is not a better linebacker coach in the NFL, not a better teacher. Guy is super patient, and he speaks the language of everybody in the room. So he just don't coach to one player. Frank could talk to everybody, and everybody can relate to him. So that matchup between him and Frank, I'm gonna come down there and make. I could not believe. I said that's the one guy out of all the teams. If you could play for any coach, if you could ever play for a guy like Frank, you would watch your game developed probably more fast than any place you go.
We'd love to see you up here. That's really cool because we've just heard so many great things about him. Can't wait to see what he does there on the field with these guys. Another thing that when Cedric talked to us after he was drafted, the question came up about the options to possibly at some point transfer, right? To maybe go to a bigger program. And he said, that was never even a thought on my mind. What type of person are we getting in Cedric Gray? And I respect the loyalty, Coach.
Oh, he could have left it. In the day's game, Taylor, with the NIL and the transfer portal, kids can jump ship anytime. Somebody comes in and call your coach and say, hey, how much you making? All right, I'm making $150. We'll tell him we'll pay him $500,000. As a lot of coaches would do the same, and they'd leave. You got a chance to change your life in 1 year. And this, like I said, Ced grew up ROTC. He got a dynamic mom in Esther. And his mom would never let him leave Carolina. He came to Carolina as a wide receiver, converted to a linebacker, and his mom was just grateful that that somebody took a chance on her baby, and he excelled. And he excelled in way more than everybody imagined. Started off as a special teams guy. It just kept getting better and better and better, and never was impatient, and just endured and just enjoyed the process of growing. So he believed in us at Carolina, and he felt like as long as we were developing him, he was never going to go anywhere. So going back to your original premise, Kayla, yes, he is as loyal as anybody you've ever been around. providing that you're developing him,
Yep.
and you're not BSing him. So that's the guy. I mean, when he walks into a room, he demands presence. He demands the respect of the room. And like I said, he's not afraid. He is not afraid to voice his opinion when guys mess up.
I love that.
UNC linebackers coach Tommy Thigpen has been our guest this morning. Coach, I'll be honest, I hope we get more UNC guys because I just want to keep talking with you, man. This is a great conversation, and we may just call you to talk defense sometime, man. This has been great.
Y'all want, man. Like I said, that's my new team now.
I love it. Hey, the Blues are similar, Coach. I mean, Carolina blue, Titans blue. I mean, we can get behind this.
Yeah, if we could just get us some hot chicken over in Chapel Hill.
Well, I'll exchange you hot chicken for some of those player exclusive Jordans you got. How about that?
I love it. Coach Tommy Thigpen has been our guest. Coach, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.
Guys, I look forward to seeing you guys. I'll be down there next, probably at the end of the month when y'all start OTAs.
Perfect.
Awesome, Coach.
We will see you then. There he is, Coach Tommy Thigpen with us here this morning. That is an awesome breakdown. And
that was.
Man, I don't think he could have been any more complimentary of your linebackers coach here in Frank Bush. Said, if there's anyone I wanted Cedric Gray to play for, it's him.
That's big.
There is not a better linebackers coach in the NFL, in my opinion, he says.
That's big.
That was that was great. Can we replay that?
That's a national championship winning position coach at Auburn.
Woo.
And Tommy Thigpen, who's been at Tennessee, he's been everywhere.
Coaches know.
He's got a good opinion on that for sure. And coming up next, we bring in another guy who can speak to not only Frank Bush's experience, but 6 of the 7 draftees that will wear two-tone blue this upcoming season because they were at the Senior Bowl. And we go straight to the source. The executive director of the Reese's Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy, joins us next.